it's okay. Sometimes you don't realize how well things are coming together until, after the fact or, in retrospect. But it is giving that little pieces of your life are coming together. This could even be like a romantic connection, in some way. Things are moving slowly, and to you, the slow progress looks like stagnation, right? But it's giving that, like, it's this sort of thing of how, say somebody's like on a weight loss journey or something, and it's very like slow progress. Maybe they lose 1 or 2 pounds a week, right? But, if they do that the whole year, and then, say they see a family member that they only see for the holidays, right? And then they see that family member, you know, at the end of the year during that holiday, and then they're just like, oh my God, what a drastic change. Like, you look like a completely different person, right? But you weren't perceiving it that way because you're like too close to the situation to actually see what was going on, okay? And this could apply to a lot of things, right? This could apply to, like, I guess, yeah, your physical appearance, because that came up. Um, some sort of like intellectual pursuit, if you're like, I don't even know if I'm making progress in like becoming smarter in this area or something, but you actually are, you have to do with like learning a language, like a programming language or something like that. I think that you just have really high standards for yourself, obviously, and so, you may be a bit hard on yourself when you're not like, I don't know, when I guess like the journey feels long when you're in the midst of it. Okay, that's why you're supposed to try to find. I was shuffling, but it was giving just like a lack mindset a bit of trying to, or sort of like focusing more on the things that, I don't know, like focusing more on the things that are not happening as opposed to focusing on the things that are happening. You know, um, and that Five of Pentacles was giving me, um, if it like starts snowing, right, and it just started snowing, and you're like, oh, this isn't gonna stick, or oh, I bet there's not gonna be that much snow accumulation or whatever, or like, oh, this storm isn't that bad, right? And then obviously, if it just never stops snowing, okay, yeah, let's use that example. So if it just like never stops snowing, obviously, that's like a shit ton of snow. So it's giving that, like, if there's something about you just needing to allow something the time to accumulate, and it will be a lot more drastic than you may be expecting at this time, because you're still like watching it trickle down. But the fact is that it's never going to stop trickling down. Okay, I'm not manifesting the new ice age. Okay, let's just like apply that to abundance in some way. Let me just like show you guys, because I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know if that came in reverse or not. So oh, okay. Yeah, so like, you are making progress and you're moving forward. I think it's good that you should be future focused in some way and like looking to your broader horizon. Some of you may literally be moving across at least a mountain range. Okay, so I don't know what that means for you, but whatever plan that you have in mind that is like, oh, specifically, if you were like trying to decide between different things, and different paths or even different people, okay, there's something about like the one that lives the farthest away is the right choice. I don't know why, um, but there's something about you. You may have wanderers in your ancestry in some way, even if you are not consciously aware of that fact. There's something about like a nomadic energy, um, or a nomadic spirit that is like calling to you. And I almost feel like you would feel restless in some way internally if you stayed in your hometown indefinitely, because some people are content doing that. Some people feel safe doing that, but it's almost like this weird twisted energy where you almost feel unsafe staying in the same place too long, right? Uh, that's not to say that eventually you won't find your home base, but I think that you will still travel even once you establish where you want your home base. And I don't think that your home base is going to be where you were born. Okay. I guess I just like pull random messages because I'm bored today. Okay. Ooh. Oh yay. So Ace of Swords. I guess that's like accurate. Okay. Um. But also I'm getting that you can trust yourself right now because you are seeing things clearly. Especially people. Okay. You may have people around you who they're. I know it's like overstated or whatever, but they could just literally be stuck in the matrix. And like what I mean by that is they're stuck in that like having a 9 to 5 is the way. And even if they are kind of waking up to the fact that like, hey, I'm not gonna, I may never feel financially stable and secure working this 9 to 5 job. Ooh, 5 to 9? I don't know. That sounds egregious, but like, um, yeah. Anyway, so there's just like it's giving like you could have been surrounded by people who they can only perceive a certain like way of life, and you have figured something out that seems completely insane, irrational, like that doesn't happen to people like us, like that sort of narrative, and it's accurate and it is for you and you're going to achieve it regardless. Obviously, like that's why you always have to like trust yourself, and if this is the message you needed, like trust yourself. There are a lot of like obstacles and challenges, okay, for some reason or another, um, in order to break free from, again, that matrix. And I'm not really going to get into that philosophically or like spiritually right now as to why that is, but the system obviously benefits from, like, if you've seen the movies, right? Like, I don't know, because the system benefits and they kind of like feed off of people sort of like staying there, and it's sort of like the people that exist within that place. It's almost like they're programmed to try to like force anyone who tries to escape to stay. Like it like alerts something in them, like this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Like they panic, you know. It's like a red alert type of thing. But I would just say if you're watching this, you're divinely protected and you will escape regardless. You just have to keep, like, if you just trust that you're being pulled up, like, keep saying, like, oh, the divine's like pulling you like this out of that matrix type system, you have to believe that, like, the, 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 I don't know, I wanted to say ephemeral powers or whatever, but just like the immaterial realms or whatever are obviously going to be in like the, I don't know, it's just giving that it doesn't really matter what people do to try to like sabotage you or whatever, because the only thing that can actually hold you back from achieving those goals are like if you start to believe the things that they tell you, and then you start to self-sabotage yourself, right? um and yeah, I don't know, like the lack mindset energy flipped out again. It's almost giving that like I hate that energy. I hate that energy. This is almost giving that like people are trying to make it seem like you're too decrepit or something, or like incapable of achieving things. That's not true. Anybody, like, I would just say this too. I don't know. Things are kind of like topsy turvy, and the world shifts all the time. Obviously, all of us are young. Anybody who's alive doesn't know what things were like 500 years ago, actually, because we weren't actually here. You know what I mean? So, like, I mean, obviously, we know some things, but you know what I'm trying to say. Or 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, okay? So things are always shifting, you know? So if the people who are resisting that shift want to stay in that energy and, could keep complaining about why they're unhappy, but they refuse to, like, follow that call or nudge, you know? Also, if there's a sense of you, like, worrying about there being too much competition in that field or that, like, area that you're trying to seek out or whatever, that's not true, okay? Your only competition is yourself, and there is a prize for everybody who actually wants to have a prize and actually does work for one, okay? So as long as you actually do the work, you'll still get your goal. There's room for everybody, okay?